Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
That's right. You tuned into another episode of the Viewers Anonymous podcast, where we give you our very own reviews and takes of movies and TV straight out of Hollywood. What's up, bro?
Man, it's been an insightful day, man. But we got we definitely got an interesting one today. And this was just
Absolutely.
one. Yo, I was throwing shit at the fence. I didn't know this one was gonna hit. When I
Yeah,
said it to you, I didn't think you was gonna, I didn't think you was gonna catch it. But
yeah.
I was like, okay,
And what's
cool,
crazy
cool.
is this motherfucker is on. They got this trial going right now too. So
Yeah. So
I
we gotta be
wonder.
careful.
Yeah, I wonder if this will have any kind of, what I'm saying, uh, effect
Any
on
credence
what's
on it,
going on.
yeah.
Yeah. But before we do that, man, we got to get into a segment that what I'm saying we like to help everybody else out with, get them a little something extra on top of what we already given them. We call it what we watching. Let's do this.
Yes, sir.
What we
What we
watching?
watching?
What we watching?
All right, what you got, bro?
All right, so what I got, man, it ain't nothing new, but because I don't want to call it an event, but you know, a passing happened the other week, kind of wanted to kind of refresh my memory on one of the best documentaries I've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
me personally, because of the passing of O.J. Simpson. He was in the news and all that type stuff. I was like, man, you know what? I said I'm gonna go back and watch O.J. Made in America,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just as good as the other two times that I watched it. Like
That's
it's
what's up.
just, what I mean. It's just a very he's a very intriguing dude, man. Um, you know, he was a guy that you couldn't really put your finger on it, man. And then the things that was going around with with him being on It Is What It Is with Cam and Mace. A lot of people look down upon Cam and Mace, and some people didn't, but
Yeah.
they did take a shot, and it's not a lot of people who would take that shot.
Right.
And even with that being said, like the dude is interesting. I mean, that's one thing I would say about that guy. But I will say, for if we have any newcomers on here, me personally, I think that's one of the best episodes we done on this podcast. So y'all can go back in the archives and look that up. You know what I'm saying? Type in OJ Made in America. We did an episode on that a couple years ago, and that's my what we watching. Because of the passing of him, I went back and watched OJ Made in America, all five parts.
That's dope. Excuse me. For me, I went back and got on Amazon Prime Video and finished up season 2 of Invincible. Um, it's it's not as good as the first season. But I think this one is a lot more, what I'm saying, like invested in the story as far as diving a little bit deeper in the story, trying to give you a little bit more substance. But that first season, man, that was hard hitting. It was right there. But season 2 is a little bit more for the storytelling side and trying to cover corners and stuff like that. So yeah, go check that out. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm sorry, Prime Video. I keep saying Amazon Prime Video. Prime Video. Um, Invincible season 2. So
Cool, cool.
before we get started on our main feature, man, I do want to say a congratulations and a salute to 50 Cent. He just opened a 956,100,000 square foot film studio, which is going to be the second biggest black film studio. in the world.
Tyler
So
Perry.
yep, behind Tyler Perry. So 50 Cent has opened his own film studio, an amazing feat for somebody who, came up through hip hop, started off rapping, conquered that dream, then ended up doing movies, and he excuse me, ended up doing movies and acting, conquered that dream. Now he's been a producer and he's giving stars a whole new life through these shows that he's been putting out, and he's conquered that dream, and now he's owning his own film studio. So 50 Cent, salute to you, congratulations, and man, can't wait to see what he does next.
Well, yeah, man. Congratulations on that, man. Because when you got your own studios, you really kind of do your own thing, really. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
don't need nobody's permission for anything. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? You shoot. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are, certain bylaws that you got to abide by, but at the same time, you don't need anybody's approval. You got your
Right,
own shit. So,
right.
congratulations to him, man, for real, for real.
Absolutely. That makes it a lot easier for him too. All right, so man, listen, like you said, you ain't know this was gonna stick. You just throwing shit at the
Yeah.
gate. You know what I'm saying? But man, this motherfucker stuck like glue. Okay.
Okay.
Um, like I told you, I started to watch this and I fell asleep. Um, and I got up, turned it back on, and this time, usually when you turn it back on, you try to, start where you left off at. I said, just let this motherfucker run. So I end up
Yeah.
watching it again. Boom, let it run. And I was like, man, okay, this shit got real interesting toward the middle. It get real interesting. So rewatch it again just in case there's some stuff I didn't miss. I mean, just in case it was some stuff that I missed. Um, and man, it is it's a hell of a doc, man. We're talking about Stormy, the Stormy Daniels documentary on Peacock, and this pretty much covers a tad bit of her career, a tad bit of her life before her encounter with one Donald J. Trump during his run for presidency and his actual presidency, and
Well,
a lawsuit.
the run-in was before he was a Celebrity Apprentice when the whole
No, I'm not.
incident
I'm
went
I'm
down.
talking about the trial, the
Oh,
lawsuit and
gotcha,
everything else.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um the During his run for presidency and his actual presidency, where a lawsuit was filed for sexual harassment, amongst some other things. Um and this is a first-hand look on not just how um a greedy decision ruined her life, but just how constant bad decisions left her in a place of just I don't even really know how to put it.
Shit.
She was just making
Disarray, if
bad
you ask
decisions.
me.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually perfect. Disarray. Like she just was making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. So starting off, um, she talks about her, her life growing up. She is, a young girl from Baton Rouge who ends up starting off in stripping and exotic modeling, so on and so forth. And she's getting like all of these offers and all of these different things to do all of these photo shoots and all of this other stuff. She meets a friend. Her friend basically tells her, "Come out to California. I'm doing a shoot. Maybe you can get some work out there." Ends up working with some talent scout, and they do some test shoots. She ends up working for a company called Wicked, and that was her entrance into the adult film entertainment industry or the adult entertainment industry. Once she was doing that, she eventually ended up becoming one of the biggest stars in adult entertainment industry. She ended up becoming a producer, making her own films and everything else. And this leads us to her first interactions with Donald Trump, which, like you stated, was way before the presidency, everything else like that. This is when Donald Trump is, like you said, on The Apprentice, and he's at like the height of his career as
Yep.
far as like an actor or entertainment celebrity. He's at like the height of his career. This motherfucker is uh clotheslining Vince McMahon in WWE. You know what I'm saying? He on Monday Night Raw, every other show. He got his own TV show with The Apprentice. This motherfucker's doing commercials with Domino's. Like he's killing the game right now. So what was some of your thoughts, some of the things you kind of observed watching it up until that point?
Um, up until that point, you know, I mean, I didn't really even know anything about Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Until even when this stuff came out and people were saying that she was a porn star, I didn't even know she was a porn star. I've never seen her any of her things. So
Oh man,
all this was
I know them boobs from anywhere.
all all of that was new to me. All of it was new to me.
I remember.
Um,
I don't mean to cut you off, but okay. So it was a point in time where we had the Playboy channel, and I used to sneak and watch that motherfucker like a lot. And she said she was signed to Wicked, but with Playboy, like they do things with certain people who already signed, and like they'll do like exclusive shit. So she had one where she was like exclusively doing this one thing for Playboy. Oh my goodness, shit was crazy.
yeah, see, I missed that, man. I missed that. So, I mean, I was surprised to even see that, you know, how she even came about. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like, just basically, she was it was I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the girl went to school with her. If I'm not
Yeah, they went to
mistaken,
school together. Cause remember, she
and she
said they
said,
was at a party and she was 17. She pulled up in this car and she was like, "Yo,
a
how the
purple
fuck?"
Camaro.
Yeah, she was like, "How the fuck did you pay for that?" She was like, "Oh, I'm a stripper."
Yeah, and so then she goes, and then like, so she, said how much money she made her first night and how quick she made it. She was like, oh, yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
that joint then. And
Yeah.
so she was like, and she showed a picture she bought a Mustang joint,
Mm-hmm.
bought her a classic Mustang, went and bought her boobs and stuff. And like you said, friend told her to come out to California, but like I didn't know that, she was directing porn videos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, all this stuff was new to me. I was like, wow, like I didn't, because when the way that they perceived her in the media, you know what I'm saying, they were just calling her a porn star. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so then with them saying it that way, it's demeaning. But something that I wanted to have a conversation with you about is how porn star, well, that term, in my opinion, and then I'm gonna ask you yours, around those times when she was like really popping, you know what I'm saying, early 2000s and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
that shit was demeaning, right? But like now, you say porn star, is to me, it's like it kind of flipped. It's not really demeaning anymore because now,
It depends on who you talking to when you say, or who you talking about when you say
yeah, because
demeaning.
now you got a lot of rappers, you got a lot of
No, I'm
basketball
talking about
players.
then in 2000. It depends on who you was talking to
What? Yeah,
or
yeah,
talking about when you say demeaning, right? Because if you're talking about like middle America and the common people in that vicinity, then yeah, it was
yeah. They
super
still
demeaning,
say,
right?
yeah,
But you know what I'm saying, especially like along the Bible Belt and all that. But when you're talking about certain people, like yeah, maybe if you talked about Stormy Daniels and the crowd that she garnered, then they would talk bad about her. But if you bring somebody like Pinky up, You know what I'm saying? Like we never talk bad about Pinky. You know what I'm saying? Like even the women that knew who she was and what she did, they didn't talk bad about Pinky. Like the audience that she garnered, nobody talked bad about. They actually they were more like rock stars than anything else.
Yeah,
So it depends on, you know what I'm saying, the crowd that you're talking about. Um to, you know what I'm saying, to mainstream America, yeah. It was definitely looked down upon if you was doing porn for sure.
yeah. And I think that nowadays it's not well. Now it's still like you said, it's still that demographic, middle America, very Christian people and stuff like that. But like it's starting to be looked at in a way of like, oh well, it's not as bad or it's not because I think because there's more education along with it now. You know what I'm saying? When you hear about the amount of testing that they got to do, you know what I'm saying, and then you hear about the people who like look at these people and it's like oh man, my fantasy is to do a porn star or whatever, whatever. But I just think that it's not necessarily viewed the same. And I
Hmm.
think to see what this woman ended up going through,
Yeah.
like it was, I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of like when you were saying when she kept having bad decision after bad decision.
Yeah.
It's like damn, man. Okay, if my man never, and this is a question, if my man never ran and won, or either or, would this would have gotten to this big of a deal? Is what I'm saying. If
Oh no, of
Donald Trump
course
never
not.
would
It
have
wouldn't
ran.
even that we would have never heard about this if that was the case, right? If he wasn't running for um if he wasn't running for president, or if he didn't have any kind of, political affiliations or none of that, this wouldn't have been nothing but tabloid news. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else was. It only got heightened to this point because of the fact that he was running for president. He ended up becoming the president, and it was basically like they outed him. You know what I'm saying? Like it was weird the way that it even all came about. He running for president, and then it was the one lady, what's her name, Gina Rodriguez, who
Yeah,
was
Gina
her
Rodriguez.
yeah, who was like her spokesperson, and she was an ex porn star, and then she was like, yeah, we should sell this story about how you used to, what I'm saying, sleep with Donald Trump, or uh, be around Donald Trump. And it was like, why the fuck would you? Because even she was like, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, I don't think we should do that. I don't really think nobody has to know about nothing like that. But her friend was adamant about doing it. Remember, she took it upon her own. Like, she started sending in letters to news outlets, excuse me, and all of those different media outlets. And finally, the guy with the, what was it, the National Enquirer? Not the National Enquirer. Was it the National Enquirer?
I think it was because I don't think it was TMZ.
What's his name? Decker or something like that.
Was
Becker or
it? Was
Decker,
it?
something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Decker.
Yeah. So he had heard about it, got word of it, talked to Gina Rodriguez, and that's when he hit Trump up like, "Hey, it's somebody out here shopping around a story about you, you know, having an affair with them." Now, before we even get to this point, I want to talk about the actual interaction that they had, the initial interaction that they had,
Yeah,
which they end up having sex, right? Because the one thing that um I always pay attention to, especially in documentaries, because usually documentaries are biased. depending on who is doing the documentary, is going to have whatever side of the story that they believe is, true.
Yeah.
And what I found odd is that they were trying to make it seem as if he raped her, like
I
in a
don't.
weird way, because she was saying how um they had sex, and she was like, I didn't feel comfortable having sex with him, and then it took me back to when I was a young girl, when she got sexually assaulted as a young girl. And then she was like, but I knew I didn't say no, even though I knew I should have said no. And it was just weird because I'm like, okay, I don't think that that's what really happened, right? Because it's a lot of gray area in her story. Her story was when they first met up, you know what I'm saying? They was at the golf, what's your name? He gamed her up and she was with it. Go to the hotel. He didn't come down, so she had to go up to his room. When she go into his room, he still got his pajamas on. So she say, quote unquote, she made fun of his pajamas, and then he instantly went to go switch them, which is weird for her to even bring that part up, right? And then they had a conversation or whatever. Now, mind you, she says that when they have this conversation, he's not trying nothing crazy. He's not trying to have sex with her. He's not doing nothing of that. All they had to drink was water. It wasn't no alcohol involved, no drugs involved, right? And then he was basically complimenting her. He was telling her how he thinks that she'll be good at certain things if she wants to try her hand in actually producing, what I'm saying, like Hollywood type films. Then he thinks that maybe The Apprentice would be a good spot for her because it'll give her some type of exposure, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. He wasn't trying nothing. He wasn't touching her. He didn't do none of that. Then she says she goes to the bathroom. And when she comes out the bathroom, all of a sudden she finds herself, quote unquote, cornered. And then they're having sex. And he's telling her how beautiful she looks and how good she looks, so on and so forth. But she didn't say no. She was saying that it was consensual, which would, of course, not make it rape. But the way that she was saying it was like she was trying to set it up to say she was being raped. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of looked at it more like because everything that you're saying is true. Like she did say it was consensual and all that type of stuff. She said when she came out the bathroom, he just had on, what I'm saying, black underwear. Kind of like saying like basically the audacity to think that, who you are, you're just, basically assuming that I want to have sex with you type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so the way that I kind of took it was when I think she was trying to say because she brought up the fact that he was 60, and I
Mm-hmm.
think at the time she was in her mid 30s, if I'm not mistaken.
She was in her early
Um,
30s.
early 30s. So she was like in her early 30s, and he was 60. I think
Mm-hmm.
what she was trying to say, in my opinion, I can't speak for her, but it kind of sounded like she was trying to say, like, yo, I didn't want to have sex with him, but I think that she kind of looked at it like, well, since you're in here in your black underwear, I think she's looking at it like, if I don't do this, I may not get this apprentice thing that we've been talking about.
Cap, man. Because how do you go from when you, because first and foremost, she played it off like she wasn't even fucking with old boy like that. Like she
Yeah,
wasn't even
she
feeling
said
this
she
nigga.
said no initially when he asked, and then she said
So
somebody kind of talked her into doing it, and then that's when she went.
exactly. So when she first get in here, you cracking jokes on the motherfucker. Oh, you got them old ass pajamas on. You like Hugh Hefner. Maybe he want his pajamas back. That's how she portrayed it.
Yeah,
Like she been
yep.
in there clowning him. Now, how does it go from that to then finally you coming out the bathroom and you feeling pressured to have sex? Cause it ain't like he was pressing up on you. My man just had his drawers on.
Yeah, this is true. This is
She didn't
true.
say
But
that. She didn't say that he forced her or none of that.
yeah, she clearly said that he did not force her.
That's what I'm
But
saying. The next thing you know, they end up on the bed fucking. Don't make no sense. You can't on one end try to say that you felt coerced, and then when you came in there, you was this fucking almighty. Well, I ain't even trying to play it up like that, but you had this air about you. You had this confidence about you, and all of a sudden that confidence was gone. That air was gone.
I mean, to play devil's advocate though, it's kind of like she could have looked at the situation as in, okay, so we're fully clothed when we having a conversation. I go to the bathroom, I come
Mm-hmm.
back, and now you ain't got nothing on but your underwear. So basically, that's telling me like, all right, so for you to do this quote unquote favor for me, I'm gonna have to do a favor for you. You know what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you see me on camera. You're gonna want me to do some of those things to you, and that's why you got your underwear on. That's kind of like, you know, uh, the great 21 Savage says it best. He said, you know what I mean? Don't come to my house at 2 a.m. and sit at the edge of the bed. You know what I mean? Like, you know why you came over here at 2 a.m. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
but even still though, like to me that's corny, right? Like because even if he had his jaws on, all right, cool. First and foremost, when she talked about the apprentice, she was saying that she didn't even believe he can get her on there.
yeah, he said he got this one. He said he got this one. What he called it?
I got one spot that I could pick and they can't argue it.
Yeah, a wild card or something like that.
But
It
that's
was
what I'm
something that he had
saying.
said.
So she already thinking in her head, this motherfucker ain't about to get me on no apprentice. You feel me? So that's already
Yeah,
in your head. So you can't say that it was you was thinking of getting on the show and maybe he wouldn't put you on the show. You can't say that because you already said that you didn't think this motherfucker was gonna put you on there.
man. I think all this is Stormy don't want us to look at this situation like she wanted, like she. Now, don't get me wrong. She said she voluntarily did it, but I think what she's saying is, with the way that he looks and all of that type shit. You look at the guy that she was married. I'm not saying he was a prize or anything, but I'm just saying you look at her husband and you look at Donald Trump. I mean, it's kind of what I mean. But I think she's
They the
trying to
same
say like,
person. One just don't got the money. I'm dead ass. They the same person. One just don't got the money. Cause we gonna get into her husband, the Gwen or whatever this nigga
yeah,
name is.
Glenn,
He's a
yeah,
bitch. He's a full fledged bitch.
man. Look, we'll get to him. Like you said, we'll
Yeah.
get to him. But no, all I'm saying about the situation is, I think the way she want to perceive this and for it to come off, and like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I think that she just don't want us to think that she's like attracted to him and like wanted to have sex with him just to have sex with him. You know what I'm saying? I think
Oh
that's why
yeah,
she was
right.
trying
But we
to
we know it
word it
wasn't
the
just
way
to
that
have
she was
sex with
wording
him.
it.
We know it wasn't
Yeah,
just to have sex with him. Listen,
yeah,
she sold the pussy.
yeah.
That's it. That's all. And they fucked more than one time. She kept trying to say we only had one sexual encounter. Nah, you didn't. You had way more than one sexual encounter.
It feel
Um.
like for this to go on as long as it did. I mean, for one smash, I think you're right on that one.
So this is the thing. She talking about we had sex one time, but he was calling me and we met up a couple other times and he would just always interact with me. So you already talked about how you ain't like the nigga and this and all this other shit. But you constantly picked up his calls. You constantly met up with him and hung out with him. You constantly went places with him and did shit with him. So after a while, it's starting to seem like you was fucking with this nigga. Now, whether you
Yeah,
liked him or not is subjective. We can't really gauge that. But
yeah.
it looked like you was cool with dude,
Until you got the phone call that you couldn't be on the Apprentice.
the apprentice. Exactly. And then once you got that phone call, her exact words was, then I stopped answering the phone because I mean, what did I need him for?
Exactly.
So this is the thing. once again, like I said, it seems like she makes some real bad decisions because what it seemed like is you was fucking with dude for this apprentice spot that you didn't believe what you was gonna get at first, but the more and more you start fucking with him, the more and more it starts seeming like you could possibly get this role. You knew it was gonna be some money involved. You knew it was gonna be some opportunities involved. So you just start playing along and doing your thing, and you ended up getting burnt out in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So now that that shit happened, some time passed. She meet Glenn or whatever. They get married, which is her third marriage. They get married, have a
Hmm.
kid, all this other shit, everything cool. This nigga's a drummer or musician or whatever the fuck he was aspiring to
Yep.
be. Um, and they it seemed like they had a decent marriage.
Hmm.
It seemed like they had a pretty good marriage. Um, so much so that he even started doing porn for her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a very interesting thing. You know, then the truth start coming out about this nigga. He started talking about how he was getting insecure because he wasn't as big as the other actors, or he didn't feel like he could live up to those guys and all this other weirdo shit that don't matter. Um, and so that's the first glimpse I seen of him where I'm like, oh, this nigga's a bitch. First thing come to my mind. Why the fuck does that matter? You own now your girl done already told you. I want to continue to do this, but I want you to be a part of this with me. Cause I don't feel
Hmm.
comfortable doing this and you not involved. So you then start doing it. And now that's your thing now. If you felt that way, why didn't you stop? Or why didn't you try to get her to stop? You know what I'm saying?
I think I think that's a rocky slope, man, because I think in those type of situations, you
Mm-hmm.
got to know what you're getting yourself into.
Absolutely.
Like you can't come with the insecurity shit. You can't come with the yo like I want you to stop. That's just like in Players Club. You know what I'm saying? How Lance gonna get mad at what I'm saying Diamond for stripping at the Players Club when you met her at this Players Club. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like yo, you can't expect this woman to turn her whole life around. You know what I'm saying? When she out here being a star. Now it'd be different if you met her in her 40s.
Right.
All right, like yo, you know what I'm saying? You kind of start to age out a little bit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's chill on it or whatever. But you met this woman when you met her, you can't expect her to change. But like you said, if you walking around here, first of all, looking at all these other dudes' meets and all this type shit, like yo, like
Crazy.
yeah,
Crazy.
like dude, because at the end of the day, now like I say, you do gotta be a certain type of individual. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think about a guy like Adam 22 and all the shit he got going on, like
Wow.
you gotta be you gotta be a different individual psychologically. You know what I'm saying, to deal with a lot of the shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not in that field,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if you're going to be, you have to look at it like, yo, she married me. There's a reason why she married me. Like, don't worry about these other fucking dudes, meat
Right.
size and all this type shit. Like, if and like she said, he knew what I was doing from the
Yeah.
jump and from the rip. So
Yeah.
why are you trying to switch up? And then she brought you in because she
Right.
was like, yo, like I don't really want to be doing these other dudes like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what are you insecure about at this point? It'd be different if it was a situation like you are like the fucking cameraman or some shit,
Yeah.
and you're filming all of her, you know what I'm saying, sex
Yeah.
scenes
You
and
got to
all of
literally
this.
watch this shit every time. It's not
Yeah,
that.
like yeah, and she asked you to come in, so it's kind of like what are you really bitching about at this point?
Right.
You ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing to complain about because I'm pretty sure in other situations, people who date porn stars or whatever the case may be, like I'm pretty sure some of their situations were a lot different from yours because
Yeah.
they didn't bring their man in and turn them that well, not to a star, but turn them into porn. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Glenn always kind of like, and then just like the arguments that they start to have. Now, I do get him being upset about, you know what I'm saying, because this is the thing when it comes to Stormy and Glenn, right? She told him about Donald Trump, but said they never had sex.
Right.
So
And you know,
then when the
and real quick, because I don't even think it. I don't even think it that that was the thing. I think that what she basically did was, I think she omitted the fact that her and Trump had sex.
yes,
Right.
yes, she said she
I
did,
don't.
yes,
No, I'm saying like not just the fact like she just didn't blatantly tell him. It was just one of them things where it was just like, yeah, I kicked it with Donald Trump for a little bit, and I think that's as far as it got.
yeah,
Cause I mean, it wasn't one of those things to where if you chilling with somebody and they tell you, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I kicked it with Donald Trump. The first thing in your mind is ain't did you fuck Donald Trump? Like he tried to fuck you, that ain't even the first thing in your mind. You like, damn, you kicked it with Donald Trump. What that motherfucker like? You know what I'm saying? Even when
yeah,
even when Seth Rogen was talking about it, Seth Rogen was like, yeah, she was telling us about his hair. We was asking about his hair. Then nobody give a fuck about if you fucked him or not. That wasn't even a thing.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, we didn't ask her that. We was talking about his hair. We wanted to know if what I'm saying, shit like that. So it that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it was more so of an omission than it was just I just didn't blatantly tell them. You know what I'm saying? Or I tried to avoid telling them. It was just one of them things. Like it really wasn't no need to fucking tell the motherfucker.
yeah. That's just like you know you know what I'm saying. You married or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you fucking you go. I don't know. You go to a fucking you go to a bar or some shit, and come to find out, you know what I'm saying? One of your exes up in there. You know what I
Right.
mean? She come talk to you real quick. Oh, what's up? And y'all could have just talked. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
But then, it's one of those situations you get home, be like, oh, you have a good time, babe? Yeah, yeah, man. Me and the guy, we kicked it, you know what I'm saying? Had
Yep.
a few
Ran
drinks, we
ran
shot
into
some
an old
pool, and
friend. Boom.
but you ain't gonna say who it is.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like that's what she did. She was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
hung out with Trump and all this type of shit, but like she ain't gonna like, yeah, she didn't tell him. And my man was like, yo, I had to find out from a fucking interview on TV. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
nigga.
That
Yeah, he did. What
like,
the fuck did this is my thing. You married to her now. This shit happened before y'all even met. What the fuck difference do it make if she fucked Donald Trump?
at that point, it don't matter.
Exactly.
It really do not matter.
Y'all got a
I'm
kid.
big
Y'all
into
married.
that.
Who cares?
I'm big into that. Like I don't do this whole little how many bodies you got.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What all you and such do. I'm not in all of that type shit because at the
Right.
end of the day, I know what I did, you know what I'm saying, before you know what you did before you. It
Mm-hmm.
don't fucking matter. None of that shit fucking matters.
Right.
But like I think that the reason why Glenn did get mad at one part of it is the fact that when that 130K, she said it went into Glenn's account
Mm-hmm.
for some. I don't know why it went there, but
Because Glenn and her had joint accounts.
well, yeah,
Now, this is what I think. They had a joint account. She also had a separate account for her business or whatever the case may be. Right.
mhm,
Now, this is the thing that pissed me off. Remember when she, well, remember when he was talking about her initially? He was saying how she was going around, she was stripping, and she was working in the industry. And he didn't have an issue with that. Once he figured out that she slept with Trump and now her face is all over the media and all this other stuff, he then had an issue with that because he brought up the fact that she was going around on tour going to all of these different strip clubs and all this blah blah blah. So that was always something for him. Even the porn star thing was always something for him. He just wasn't never man enough to open his mouth and say something and tell her, you know what I'm saying, how he really felt. But once again, another one of her bad decisions of not telling her husband about, you know what I'm saying, the Donald Trump thing, you know what I'm saying, not being honest about what was really going on because she when the money came in, she like, yeah, it's gonna be some money coming in from Donald Trump. This nigga like, the fuck you mean there's gonna be some money coming in? Why is it money coming in from Donald Trump? As any husband would be. Who? How the
Yeah.
fuck are you just getting some money from Donald Trump? That's not that shit. Don't even happen. This nigga don't even pay the people that work for him. So how are you getting paid? You know what I'm saying? How are you getting some money out this motherfucker? And with that, I think that to me that was the only time I seen Glenn in any sort of positive okay light was the fact that he questioned her about this money. That's when she lied to him, of course, and he had to find out everything else. In that little small amount of time, I was like, okay, I see a little something. And then after that, he continued to talk, and I was like, yeah, this nigga's a bitch. I'm sorry. Um, so he kind of divorced her. Well, ain't no kind of divorced her. He did divorce her. Left her, took the kid, pretty much left her with shit.
Well. Not
But oh no,
technically, she gave him custody because she felt that she was in danger.
well no,
So she
we
was like,
let's get into it because the truth of the matter is it wasn't no. She was using that to say that, but I know that's not what it was. The truth of the matter was is that what's this nigga name? Nick. Oh shit.
Nick. Is Nick the lawyer?
No, the cameraman.
The cameraman. Oh yeah, that she ended up having a yeah,
Yeah, she ends up having an
yeah,
affair with the cameraman because this motherfucker is constantly around, right?
yeah.
A lot of shit going on, a lot of pressures with the media and everything with the
A lot of
Trump train,
curiosity.
a lot of curiosity, right? And eventually they end up having this semi relationship
They said brief.
or an affair. They said it was what?
Brief.
Yeah, I bet it was. Um I'm sure it fucking was. So basically, you know what I'm saying? They have this little stint of a relationship, an affair, if you will. He finds out because he already thinking she done fuck Trump. This bitch will fuck anybody. So now he just don't flat out trust her. Take the kid. Hey, you get the fuck out of Dodge, bro. You know what I'm saying? My nigga biz ounce. He ain't waste no time, no hezzy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And she's still stuck with the cameraman. Wild, wild game. Wild game. But once again, bad decisions. She
yes.
made some very, very bad decisions. Um, she let she let all of the attention and fame uh go to her head, right?
Mhm.
She started to be on television shows and getting interviews, and then it was talks of a book. She got this real famous lawyer, Michael Avenatti, who is a scumbag of the highest proportions.
Yes.
But it was one interaction with Michael Avenatti that she had that lets me kind of know who she is as a person.
Are you talking about right before she went on the View to talk about the book?
It might have been right after she got off. It was either before she got on or after
So,
she
but it
got
was,
off.
but yeah.
Yeah. So he comes to her. He's like, "Yo, you know, dude, you did a great job out there. You know, you did. You know, you represented yourself well. And I talk about you all the time. I talk about how great you are and how beautiful you are, and da, da, da. And it's so easy to talk about you and to tell your story and da, da, da. And and it's so easy to represent you as a client. And you could see the fire in her eyes. She was like, "Oh shit!" I'm talking about floodgates open. They was there. She says, "Okay, if you're gonna keep complimenting me, I'm gonna take my clothes off because that's my defense mechanism." So having her said that makes me think, when Trump was in the room with her, he was giving her hella compliments. "Oh, you beautiful. I can't believe, somebody like you is, doing this. I mean, like, you're super intelligent. You got a mind. I mean, you just brilliant." And she suddenly comes out the bathroom all of a sudden, and it's time to get it on. Glenn said the same thing. Glenn told her how beautiful she was, how amazing she looks, and all this other shit. And what happened? They get married, have a kid. The Nick nigga, he do the same thing. Talk about how beautiful she is, how good she looks on camera. Da, da, da. Now they fucking. So the thing is this bitch is trauma bonding with all of these guys. That's really what this is. She's trauma bonded with all these guys because every time a guy compliments her and tells her something about herself and makes her feel good, her first instinct is to fuck this nigga.
That's that's a great observation. And then also to add to that, when oh man, what am I thinking about? When oh man, I had a great point, but you had kept going, and now it's kind of slipping. It was one part that when she was getting ready to go on, I can't remember if it was the
SNL?
SNL joint. Did you find that? Look, I get it. I understand. You're a porn star. You're a stripper. You're used to being naked. I understand. But you got a dude on the floor, and there's another dude with a camera.
Mm-hmm.
But you just getting ready, topless. You know what I mean? When you know what I'm saying? When you got at this point, you got famous titties. At this point,
Well, that to me, that part wasn't really weird. She a porn star.
I don't know, but this is the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm thinking she's already done fucked those dudes already.
The Nick dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, when it comes to Glenn, it's kind of like, mm, I can see why he was probably assuming that she probably, you know what I'm saying, end up giving up the skins at that point.
Well,
I just thought, now I get it, and I do understand what you're saying. I did look at it like she is a porn star. She's used
mm-hmm.
to it. She's stripping. I mean, she was on a fucking tour. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy as fuck. I ain't never heard of a fucking stripper going on tour, my guy, to
Huh?
different cities
Are you for real?
stripping. I ain't never heard no shit like that. I don't go to strip clubs, but
I mean, I
I
don't
just
I don't
thought
frequent them no more either. But no, yeah, like
I
when
just
you
thought that
like
you was
Cardi,
just
Cardi was one of the ones that did a tour. Shit, it's a bunch of them out there that
dude.
I mean, that's what they do. Like, and the thing is this is the thing you got to remember, when she was stripping on the tour, she was considered a porn star then. She wasn't a stripper then. Her
Yeah,
stripping days was over. It's just that's what they do. Like, so, so porn stars, they come to certain places and they do like stripping. What your names? Depending on what kind of club it is, like if it's like a gentleman's club or something like that, then they'll come and what I'm saying, they'll do their thing or whatever. But yeah, they get paid to go on tour, to go to different clubs, and what I'm saying, they do meet and greets, they do some of them do signings or just they just do picture what's your names, like you know what I'm saying, like it's a real thing, like it's a real tour. Then they go on stage, they do their time on stage or whatever, and then after that it's a whole setup, and people can go over there and you know what I'm saying, pay for pictures, merchandise, like all kind of shit. It's like a real
Yeah,
tour.
yo, that's wow.
We had
So
um we had Lisa Ann come down here one year, and she was at fuck, what is that place called? It was either the living room or it was I forgot what the other place is called, but it was one of them. But she came down and she did that, and like you know what I'm saying, you can go and do all. It's a wild, it's some wild shit.
yeah, so nah, wild shit is so she's on tour.
Hmm.
Um, man, do you remember where it was? Was it? Why do I want to say it was Houston? I don't think it was Houston, but
It might have been Dallas. She was in Texas for sure.
so she's on tour, one of those cities down south, like you said, and the producers and everybody's like, yo, like these girls were, heavy on her. They buying merchandise, they getting autographs, they, you know what I mean? Like they
Hmm.
all in it. And all of a sudden, what I'm saying, some police officers come up to her
Hmm.
and was talking about, Stormy, like, we gotta arrest you now. I will say, like, her bodyguards, they tried. My man was like, yo, if she going, I'm going. Put handcuffs on me.
Hmm.
Like my man was riding the dime for damn Stormy. And so come to find out, the two of the girls were undercover cops and said that, that she was
Hmm.
putting titties in their face and all that shit like that. One thing that was kind of odd that struck me, but I mean, I'm guessing she was still in her mode when they said that you put your titties in their face, that's considered assault, sexual assault. And she
Hmm.
said they liked it. I was like, yo, Stormy.
I think she was trying to be a badass in that moment. Because of everything that she was going through. Like we gotta remember she's going through a trial with, you know what I'm saying, Donald Trump over sexual harassment. She's going through, you know what I'm saying, all of these things in her life. Like, cause we ain't even got to the part where like she was getting death threats. She was getting
Yeah,
there were people trying to run her off the road. Motherfuckers was popping up on her in garages talking about, hey, you know what I'm saying, don't talk about this story. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Tell everybody you was wrong. Like all kind of shit was happening to her. And I think that's another thing about Glenn too that I didn't like because he knew that this shit was going on and he acted like a bitch like that, bro, and left her high and dry. And I don't fuck with that. I think that was some whole ass shit. That was a whole ass move. And yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? She cheated on you or whatever. That's cool. But I got a feeling that she cheated on you because you was a bitch.
I understand that. What I did not understand, and I didn't even know that this was a thing, that these ladies at the time, because she got arrested, they paid $25,000 to bond her out.
Hmm.
But I didn't even know it was a thing that you could be in the strip club and press charges for somebody putting titties in your face. I didn't know
Well,
that was a thing.
this is the thing. Remember, before they talked about that, they talked to those 1-2 dudes. I forgot what they did, but they're talking to those 1-2 dudes. And the one dude was like, "Yeah, we seen her at the club and da da da." And he was like, "Yeah," and he got motorboated. And he was like, but it wasn't his choice though. And then the other dude, and then he said it wasn't my choice though. And the other dude was like, "I don't think you had a choice to get motorboated on that one." So they were setting it up to make it seem as if like she was just, that was just like one of those things that she do. Which, like you said, it's kind of odd that you in a strip club and you bitching and complaining about getting motorboated. Because
Yeah.
most strip clubs you can't even touch them.
Yeah, so this kind of seemed like a privilege. Like, damn, like you
Yeah, like
able.
she was doing you a solid.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's what I'm saying. So, but in the midst of all this, right? In the midst of her getting arrested and everything else, she's trying to deal with shit going on with her lawyer. Trying to make sure everything is cool and you know trial going on. You know, she really is going through a lot of shit. She get in the midst of a divorce. Her husband done left her with her daughter. She done had an affair with dude, but now it ain't popping no more. So that shit over with. It's like everything around her is fucking crumbling. Everything around her is crumbling. Then come to find out that her lawyer is stealing money from her.
Oh,
That's crazy.
and not only is he stealing money from her, man, my dude out here stealing money from Nike, yo. Like what is like the thing is, I think people get so caught up in ego and greed, dude, that
Mm-hmm.
they like, and they think that they can outsmart people.
Mm-hmm.
And it kills me how you have people who really think that they can outsmart the system. And
Right.
I think for a small part, I think that Stormy thought that she could too. I think that she thought that she could, in a way, like outsmart, you know what I'm saying, this whole Trump shit and come out on top of
Absolutely.
this. Now,
Absolutely.
granted, one thing that we didn't mention about her getting arrested was no, dude, she was in Ohio.
Oh yeah, Columbus. You right. You
Yeah,
right,
she was in
Columbus.
Columbus. But she sued them for, and I think she got, I think it was $450,000. And but it didn't really matter because, like you said, um, her lawyer ended up stealing money from her, which was now it makes sense when she started talking about nobody wanted to be her lawyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was too afraid to take her case.
Mm-hmm.
But then this Michael dude come in, man. Oh man, don't you ain't gotta worry about paying me shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like then you can look at that two ways. You can look at it like, all right, I'm gonna take this case, but this is gonna be the case. Like I may not get paid from Stormy,
Right.
but if we could get this shit to flip in my favor, everybody else is gonna see how good I am, and then I'm gonna get all that money on the back end.
Yeah.
Or you can look at it that way, but also he sees that there's gonna be profits, and I'm gonna skim off the top of the shit.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
exactly what he did. You know what I'm saying? And
And
she started looking at it like, yo, I supposed to got 4 payments. So like I only
mm-hmm.
got
But you
two.
only got two so far. And he
And
forged the
he
fucking signature, bro.
yeah, and then he started, you know what I'm saying, not wanting to answer her phone calls and shit like that. And then we thinking, I'm thinking watching this like, damn, like that's fucked up. And then come to find out this dude is doing this to other people, and then he's doing it to fucking Nike and shit. It's like, what the
Yeah, it's
fuck?
crazy.
Like,
Well, ultimately, once again, bad decisions. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
Bad decisions. How do you not have certain things go through you, or at least things that you have to verify before shit gets handled? Um, so ultimately, she ends up losing, right? And now
yep.
she owes Trump somewhere in the upper six figures, close to $600,000. I believe it was like 500, 2,900,000 or something like that. But it was close to 600. And she pretty much was like SOL. So now you owe this nigga almost $750,000. I mean, three-quarters of $1 million, right? You don't have your family. The Nick nigga don't give a fuck about you. All he want to do is get footage, and your
You get
lawyer sketchy.
remarried
Yeah, your
to a
lawyer
dude that you
sketchy.
used to work with,
It's just all around bad shit.
and then like, and I do want to talk about this, and we've talked about this part um before, at least. I mean, maybe not even in the Stormy conversation,
Hmm.
but just how hard these Trump fans ride for him
Yeah.
to send her the things that they sent her. And I'm not the person that's in the belief of And I think this is because of just me looking at, what I'm saying, through lenses that, see more gray than black and white. But like, I don't look at porn stars as whores. I just look at it as people who just film themselves having sex. Like,
Right.
people, look, man, people out here fucking. You know what I mean?
Every
Like,
day.
you know what I'm saying? Your shit just ain't being aired, and you know what I'm saying? It's like
Hmm.
for you to just sit back and just, what I mean, call her the things that you called her, and like going in, I mean, actually threatening this woman, threatening her child. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't
Hmm.
got shit to do with shit.
Right.
And it's just to see how and hear how cruel people are. But then, like I say, ride for a person that you probably never met. He don't know your name. This dude don't fuck with you.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit is just wild, man.
Well,
To
don't forget, it was at a certain point in time where she was actually getting a lot of praise because
yeah,
the Democrats was actually using her to kind of garner some of that attention away from Trump during the election. And she was going on the nighttime TV shows. She was going on Saturday Night Live. She was getting interviews left and right, and people was
got the key
calling
to
her
the
and
city in San
yeah,
Francisco.
had a whole day, a Stormy Daniels day, which was weird as fuck. Cause I'm like, what did she get a whole day for? She didn't do nothing, but whatever. Um, and so ultimately, like she had this time, and I think this is where things started to fall apart because as she was living this life of somebody who is quote unquote bucking the system, she was still on tour stripping.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like she still was living her everyday life. It's just now it's 1,000 times amplified. And because it is so amplified, right? Now you're getting people who are on, you know what I'm saying, each side of the fence. You got people talking about how much they love her and she can't do no wrong. And then you got other people on the other side like, yo, get that whore out of here. You know what I'm saying? So it was interesting to see her at her height and then to see her eventually come back crashing down. I think that was a great addition to this documentary for sure.
I think so. I think so as well. And to also, see a woman who, you know, Stormy. One thing I do that we realize about her, Stormy's about that bread. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, um,
That's really what fucked her up ultimately is just keep she kept trying to go after some fucking money.
yeah, and it backfired big time. And
Mhm.
now she's at the point, like you said, she owed around like 600 grand, and she was like, "Yo, I'd rather go to jail than to give Trump any of this money."
That's
And she's
cap.
talking about how she feared to lose her life. Well, not her life, but her house. Somebody got her. Now I will say this too, like, and this is just the weirdos that we live among.
Mhm.
How her address got leaked, and somebody, what I'm saying, shot her horse with a rubber bullet. It's just like, really,
I mean,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
but that's just the I think that don't have nothing to really do with Donald Trump. Um I think it's more so being in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
not just the people who were rooting for him and cheering for him. It's just that when you have this image and it's not favorable with the people, right?
mhm.
It's kind of hard to shake that. And I think that's really what it was. It was just like, because even if you look at like the stuff they're posting, like, yeah, the blonde whore and the such and such whore and some prostitute and whore and prostitute, and that they was using that a lot. But it's like, I mean, what the fuck do you expect? You at the top right now. You getting all the eyes on you. You getting all the views. Yeah, you gonna have that. You gonna have a lot of that coming at you. You know what I'm saying? and she just couldn't take it for real.
And just my opinion, I think a lot of the guys who were sending that shit, if Stormy Daniels sent them, you know what I'm saying, a room number,
Yeah.
they showing up.
Oh, for sure. Come on, man.
They
What you
showing
talking
up.
about?
All that talk, and she like, all right,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
they there.
They there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, yo, man, it was crazy. But to read the captions at the end of this shit,
Hmm.
that be the shit right there to just say, yo, this is America.
Facts.
To see the things that she's facing and the things that Trump is facing, all the sexual assault charges, all the suing people and being sued and all this shit, this motherfucker running for president.
At
And
the
then
the
the
whole
mo-
the whole
might
party on
win.
your ass. The whole
Yeah,
party on your ass. You got motherfuckers popping up at the intersection, about to kill you, cause you all you said was you slept with Donald Trump.
crazy,
Yeah, man, that's wild. You
crazy.
ready for the Fire Flames, bro?
Yes, sir. Let's get them.
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
So I thought that this documentary was pretty cool, very informative, with a whole bunch of, what I'm saying, details that was being put out during the time that we kind of didn't know about or whatever. But they definitely did a great job bringing some of those things up and getting detailed with them. Man, I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm going for. This is a pretty good doc.
Okay, okay. Um, I think that there was a lot of information being shown. I think there was a lot of footage being shown. I do think that um we got some honesty.
Hmm.
I think we got a pretty good bit of honesty out of Stormy, but I think some of it was, I think that you had to have a little bit of common sense where you kind of read in between the lines and was like, all right, Stormy, like I know you think you was slick with this one, but if you really think about
Hmm.
it, you know what I mean, it's not exactly what you said. I'm gonna go a notch below you at a 3.5.
Still good.
Yeah. Like it's not bad. And like I said at the beginning of the pod, like you know what I'm saying, I was just throwing something against the fence to see if the something would hit, and it ended up being pretty good. Ended up being
Right.
pretty good. I'm not mad at it. I did. I'm not gonna say I did. I learned some shit because I only knew about a little bit about this whole Stormy Daniels situation, but I
Hmm.
know a lot more now. So I'm gonna give it 3.5.
For sure, man. So sheesh. Sheesh. This is a wild ass story. But let's go ahead and jump into the coming soon.
Man, let's do it.
Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
All right, so next episode is going to be what I'm saying, pretty fun, man. We doing a horror film. And this is called Talk to Me. Um I haven't seen this yet. Have you seen this one yet?
I have not. I have
Yeah,
not seen it yet.
the trailer is what caught me. You know what I'm saying? The trailer is what caught me. So we're gonna get into Talk to Me on the next episode. So you guys, if you get a chance, make sure you watch it. And if you already watched it, make sure you listen to the episode. Um, but if you enjoyed this episode, if you didn't enjoy this episode, if you too were tired of hearing about Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump, uh, and you felt like the world knowing that Donald Trump slept with Stormy Daniels was punishment enough, hit us up on socials on Instagram and Twitter at ViewAnon Pod, on Facebook VA Pod Watch Group, on YouTube. You can hit us up in the comments, and you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/viewers anonymous. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I have a link to in my bio. You can follow me everywhere else there.
And y'all can find me at S. Foster 8 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. At well, I don't know what's going on with my at 28 minutes or less pod on Instagram. It signed me out, and I can't get back in. So I don't know what's going on with that account at the moment. Um, but follow 28 minutes or less on all major platforms. The last episode is Trust Issues with me and the guy Scoots Bronson with the whole Drake saga. And that's all I got, man.
That's what's up, man. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, your support is greatly appreciated. There could be no us without you. But until the next episode, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.